This is a step-by-step watercolor tutorial painting Monochromatic Landscape by Ekaterina Smirnova. For this painting, I will be using a soft bristle brush. I will follow this little sketch. We'll need raw sienna, brown madder, and ivory black. These three colors are from the warm palette. Of course, you can make a different painting using only cold palette colors or using just one color in order to make a monochromatic painting. I started with applying raw sienna, the yellow color, for the background, and now mixing in brown madder, I am making an effect of the slight pinkish color, which is quite common when you see the sunset. Remove the excess of the color with the somewhat dry brush. When you're done, make sure to let it dry fully in order to proceed with the second step. Now I will be painting the mountains. This artwork is a landscape of Rio de Janeiro. Notice that I'm mixing in somewhat deeper color in order to make the mountain. You should always remember when your colors will be drying, then they will change the opacity. So perhaps it is a good idea to paint with a more intense color. I outlined the further layer of the mountains. We will have a few layers, and you can see that the color is not spreading on the paper. This means that I'm painting on a dry paper, and it depends what kind of effects you want to achieve. You need to either paint on a dry paper for the sharper lines or paint on the wet paper in order for colors to spread around. Now I'm starting to work with the darkest color. You could use sepia or ivory black, and using my brush very freely and taking an advantage of the shape of the brush, which is quite flat on the sides, I can create different shapes of the port of Rio de Janeiro. I'm going to speed up this video for you to be able to see how the painting is developing. It takes me about half an hour in total, maybe a little longer, to complete this artwork, but this video is much shorter. So you can see that I am using the tip of my brush, or I'm using the side of the brush. I am mixing in other colors. I don't only directly take one color and paint with it. It is always good to mix in other colors. Painting monochromatic artwork will help you to develop your sense of the depths of the darks and lights. When you're painting with full color, it is much harder to see, where the shadows and the lights are, but by taking, for example, one color and painting a whole sketch only with that color will be a very good help to you, even though you're planning on painting with color afterwards. I like to test my brush in order to see if I can paint particular textures that I desire on my artwork. On additional paper, I would play and try before actually starting working on your canvas. So now I will create some of the effects of the ripples on the water by very lightly dragging my brush across the dry paper. The paper I'm using is always rough because that allows me to develop various textures. Here are a few of the boats in the harbor. You don't need to be very exact and particular. It will be clear that these are the boats, so I'm very lightly presenting some of the details. And the final touch, the sculpture on top of the mountain. I hope that I encouraged you to paint monochromatic artwork. please visit my website Ekaterina-Smirnova.com and subscribe for this YouTube channel.